Alright, now let's get Margh transformed into cab mode. And we'll take care of the trailer separately a little bit later. Right now we're just going to focus on this guy. So we'll do a couple of aesthetic things here first. We can fold these up. And it doesn't show in the other mode, but you might as well put it back. If you're planning to go back to combine mode anyways, you're going to need to do it. Same for the toes. We do want the lights on the bottom. And I actually had trouble with this one, but it's finally loosened up. There was a little bit of paint in there that was causing it to not be able to rotate. And the last thing we want to do, and we're going to have these up for vehicle mode, but put them down to give yourself one room, but also so you don't break them. Just move them out of the way. All right. Go ahead and take the arms, lift them up to the side, rotate this backwards so it's sticking out back here. We're going to open up this hand, rotate the hand in, put your finger in, push this panel out, fold this up, and then fold that back in, and you want that hiding in there. Open up this panel. We can close the hand inwards and then close that in. And then we're going to close on the elbow and leave it like that. And leave this panel down. So that's what it should be looking like. Now, a mistake I made when I was doing this on my own, and don't do this, if you open this up and open this up, there's a slider here. You don't want this slid inwards for vehicle mode. It won't transform properly, so leave it out. All right, so go ahead and do the other side. I'll do it off camera and be right back. Right now that we have the arms taken care of, we can take care of the upper body. It's definitely tricky, so a lot of steps here. Go ahead and open up this backpack, just accordion it down. Leave this translucent piece and the bottom piece folded upwards. And then just sit that down there. We can unpeg this from here. This, you pull down on the bottom to get it off of this lip right here. And then you can rotate that down, slide it all the way back, and leave it right there. Come back to the front, and we will rotate these arms to the back. That'll keep those out of the way. And if you need a little room, you can angle them up a little bit. But now we'll work on the front. Open up these doors, and you can just fold them all the way out of the way. That gives you more room to work. Come to the chest section here, and we're going to pull up on this slider for the ab crunch, so it goes all the way up to there. We can pull forward on this piece here, which will release it from this. It's pegged in right on the front of his abs. That will release all of this, so you can unpeg these two things from the side. And once you do that, things will come apart, so just be aware of that. So we'll pull that apart, and we can fold this forward, and let me just make sure we got everything clear. We can fold this back. So that gives you the most room if you have it folded out like this. All right, so now we're going to take care of all this. This is where things get tricky, but rotate this around. Later, we're going to collapse this down on a slider, which you can see right there. I have it moving pretty smoothly now, but when I first got this, that paint was stopping this from sliding down. Later, it's going to be a problem. You're not going to be able to access it. So do this now. Make sure this can slide up and down. You're going to have to wear away some of the paint for that to actually move properly for you. Otherwise, later, you're not going to be able to do it. So just move this, get it moving back and forth. All right? We're going to take all of this. We're going to rotate this around and just leave this out for now. Come to the inside here. We're going to fold up this panel. Make sure I have everything visible. And you're going to slide inwards on this slider right here. And then bring this up and leave it right there for now. Same on this side. Bring this in on the slider. And then rotate it up. And both of those are going to stay there for now, but later we're going to take care of those. Come to the back here. We're going to swing this panel all the way around until it comes to the front. And let's just get some things out of the way. Here we go. So this will come right here and just stay right there for now. Come to the back here and we'll take care of this head. So for the head, we're going to come into here, flip down this panel. We can take this panel here, rotate that in. The entire head is going to, let's see, rotate backwards. Rotate it around. Fold the head up on the neck so it sits flat on the back like this. Then slide this back in so it meets up here, so it's flush. And just leave this panel up like that, because that's going to be part of the truck. Okay. We're getting there. These arms, we can kind of put them away here. So these are going to rotate down, and then they have to collapse in on this joint. It's a little tricky, but we're going to open this up. And this is going to collapse inwards. So it sits like that. And this is where I told you before, if you collapse those arms inwards, things won't fit, so don't collapse this in. And I actually accidentally closed this. This should stay open for now. Open up this panel, bring that down. This will work its way into here. Two little tabs will catch right there. Leave this open, leave this open, and that's kind of one arm configured. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I'll do it off camera. All right, so here's how we're looking after taking care of those arms. This panel needs to be underneath, but it's going to fold up right now. So let's get this out of the way. This is going to end up above. And this is a tricky move because for whatever reason, arms just don't fit properly. So I tend to move the arms out just a little bit, just a hair, so that this can fold upwards. I don't know how to describe it, but that's the only way to get this to rotate up here. That's going to sit on top of the head. This is going to come down. And we're not going to get all these panels in for now, just leave them up. But those are going to end up on the back of the truck. All right, let's come back to the front here. Fold this down. I can just show you these panels work their way in. We're going to push these down. They're going to sit flat against the head on the inside there. These panels here, we're going to, I'll show you like this. We're going to close up these panels, which actually already happened. And then we're going to rotate them to the back. And then this is a very tricky move here, but this is going to come back. And there's a peg in here that's going to end up sitting inside here. So right here is the peg, here's the slot on the back of this white piece right here. And it's very tricky to get it perfect, but that's how you want it. Looking like that. Come to here, you can open up, actually leave this right here for now. But this is how it should be looking right now. Okay. Now we'll take care of this front piece. So open this up. Open up the windows on the doors. Allow you to open up these and then close them again because we need some clearance. So this is going to come around. And looking right here, there's a tab, a slot there, and then there's a tab down here, which I closed. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I closed this one too, accidentally. So have those open, but there's a tab. It's a round puzzle piece tab. So the shape is a little odd, but you had to get this wedged under here, but then this in here and this in here. So there's a lot of moving pieces here to keep track of. And you have to hold this one because it just doesn't want to go properly. There we go. So that's a tricky move to get all of those in, but that's how it should be. All right, so that's one side. Go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We're going to rotate these windows in. So rotate them all the way around because we need the windshield wiper on the other side. And then bring this in, looking carefully at any collision. Same on this side. Go ahead and close this up. Tie that together. Open up the door and close that up. Open up the door, close that up. On the front, you're going to open up this front bumper. This is where I mentioned you had to slide the bumper up, but it also has to peg into these two things on the side. So slide that up, peg it in there, slide that up, and peg it into there. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to open up this black piece on the inside, then do what I just said. Slide it up, peg it into there. This will sit on the bottom here. So it should be looking like this, not like that, like this. Now I'm going to take this whole thing, and this is going to slide back and sit on top of here. So if you've done everything correctly, it's going to look something like this. Right? We don't have front wheels yet. And this actually tabs in down here. All right, that's half done. Now we're going to work on the legs. The legs are definitely complicated as well. So we got quite a bit of ways to go. Come down to here. We can open this up. That will release this. And make sure you bring these hip skirts forward. So releases his inner piece here. That's to allow you to fold these side hip skirts in. They're going to hide in under here. Like that. Right? And then you just put this back the way it was. So just close this back up and leave these hip skirts down. They're not actually going to go anywhere. Right? So that is the proper configuration for the bottom. So now let's take care of the legs. I'm going to do one and do the other one off camera. So you'll have to follow along on this one. So there's 4 locks. We're going to come to here, unlock this, unlock this, unlock this panel right here. That's kind of the easy one. And then unlock this inner clip right here. Once you've got all of those unlocked, then you can lift up on this piece. It's a bigger piece than you think, so this whole piece will slide upwards like that. I'm going to rotate this panel around, rotate this around. Oh, close up this panel, rotate this around so it ends up sitting on top, and then rotate this on the top. So that's what it looks like. On the inside, you can just fold this little clip into there. And this is going to sit here for a bit, so that's the very last step in the process. So just keep that up there. All right, now we'll do some of this stuff. So come to the inside here. We can unpeg this has a little hook tab right here. So unpeg that, move that to the outside, open this up. You have to open this up out of here, otherwise you're not going to be able to do the next step. Go ahead and fold this down. And now we're all clear to rotate. So we're going to rotate this entire section, making sure nothing is colliding. So you end up with this on the top, like this. We're going to lift this up, rotate the foot. This already had slid down, so and just leave this here for now. Open up this peg before I forget, because you need that. All right, next we'll get this piece squared away. So open this up, and this is going to come around. You have to pull this out on a slider. It's a very tight piece, but it should come out a little bit more. So you have it like that, and make sure this is rotated properly. It's going to fit on this side. If you feel like it's not fitting, then rotate it a little bit more to get it flat up against this side. We're going to be able to open or close this gas tank on top of it. And like I said, if it doesn't feel like it's closing properly, then you probably don't have the angle or the rotation correct. So we'll fix that. There we go. And then close that up, and it should look like that. The gas tanks come together. And then you can straighten that back up. Come to the bottom here. We can pull out on these wheels. These are on a double hinge, so set them on the inside and then tab them in. For this, you're going to rotate this. When I first opened this panel, it was very tight on this other hinge, so I couldn't rotate it like that. So you're going to have to work that. There's a little bit of paint in there, preventing it from folding over. But you need to fold over. This is going to come down and tab in right here on the inside. All right. So here's how we should be looking. Come to the inside here. You're going to open this up. This is going to accordion down and collapse the thigh into the knee, and then you can close that back up. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the kind of the last step, so leave that upwards. So come to the side here, and we're going to take these wheels, bring this up. This is going to clip under here, so get that in there. Open up this wheel. Again, another screw that's very tight, so hold at the base, don't hold at the top. Fold this in. This tabs on the inside are going to fit their way in. They don't actually tab into something in the front. It's like in the back. So look at what you're doing and get that wheel pegged into the side. These hip skirts are just going to sit down on the bottom of the truck mode. We can leave this out because we've got to do the other leg. So I'll do the other leg off camera and be right back. All right, so here's how we're looking at this point. And don't clip the wheel in. I actually showed you. You can get it into position, but don't clip it all the way in yet. Just let it rest on the outside because we have to do a little bit more work. So open up these heels and come to the back. There's a little clip right here. You're going to open this up. There's a peg right here in between, so get it pegged together. And then on the back, make sure it's all straight. Get this pegged in. Then you can close the foot up. Close this heel spur so it sits on top of the back of the foot, as flat as you can get it. Then come to the front and we'll take care of these. So this is going to slide underneath here. There's a peg right there, so get that pushed forward and into there. And then these pegs, one's going to go over, one's going to go under. So get that underneath. Make sure all that works its way on top. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Get this in there. On the back, you have this clip on the top, but it's going to go under these two panels. So you kind of get all that squared away. So you have this underneath. But this clip on the top is going to basically hold the top of this. These two panels you just put in. So it should look like that on the top. Make sure we get this under here and all connected and square. All right, finishing touch. We're going to push up on this, slide open these. Again, be careful with these, but they will slide up. All right, now let's get the trailer transformed, and you should have these parts just from the disassembly earlier. So we'll start with this piece here. So come to the inside here. We're going to unpeg chest. And you can bring this forward. We're going to open these up if you haven't already. Have these facing backwards. Inside, we're going to unpeg the arms, rotate them out, and we're going to rotate here so that the red is on the top. Same with this one. Rotate here, is on the top, rotate out. On the arms, we're going to open this up, and it'll end up on the inside here. And we'll just do one arm. So open up this panel right here, and it can be a little tight, so if you need a spudger, you can get a spudger. Pull this up, rotate this over, and we're going to take all of this and hinge it so it ends up back here. And let me just orient myself. I think this has to be this way. And then close that up. Open up this one. Fold the fingers so that they're flat and facing forward like this. And then close up this around that. Right, so that's one side. Go ahead and do the other side. It should look like this when you're done. Right now that we got both arms taken care of, we can accordion these back on double hinges. So like that. Come to the inside here, we're going to open up the head panel. So push from the bottom, untab it, fold this down. We're going to fold this through, but we got to come to this side and open up these panels. Rotate this out of the way. This is going to go double hinge and peg in on the bottom, right there. And same with this one. This is going to rotate, double hinge. Make sure this is out of the way, and then peg in on the bottom. That kind of holds the arms up once you get it in there. Right. Then for the head, you can pass this through. Make sure the head's rotated forward, but you're going to pass it through. Make sure the ears are clearing the top there. Bring this back. You can open this tab back up, tab this into the bottom. We're going to slide the head off because we got to do a little bit of work on the head. And actually, while we're here, we can peg the arms together. That's going to be how we put that together. But for the head, we have to slide these ears out. It's very tricky. Don't pull here. You'll break it. Or I think you'll break it. Use a spudger and get in between and kind of wedge this open. You have to kind of shimmy it open. But this is what you want to do. You want to rotate these back. First few times you do it, it's going to be very, very, very tight. It starts to loosen up after a while, but especially the first time, use a spudger. And I have a soft spudger here, so it's definitely helping. But you can see that helps it pop open. And then rotate the ears back like this. Come back to the bottom here, and we can just remount the head. And the ears should be facing backwards like this. Okay, let's have those just lined up there. And on the front here, you can just bring these down and set those down there for now. We'll take care of that a little bit later. All right, so it should look like this, fingers straight. Let's take care of this piece here. So open up this side skirts, open up this piece here just on a double hinge, fold the butt skirt in, and then bring this whole thing down. That can line up with this. And then close up the side skirts. So it makes kind of like a cube, basically. There's 2 slots here and 2 tabs here. So the best way to do it is to come to the bottom, line up those tabs, and then push with your 2 pointer fingers, and that'll clip into place. All right. So set that aside, and now we'll work on one of the legs. I'll do one, and then I'll do the other one off camera. So open this up. You should have it configured something like this since you took it off earlier. Open up this front panel. We're going to accordion this back and out of the way. We can lift this up. This is on a hinge right here, so rotate this all the way around. Rotate this around. Fold this panel out, and then rotate this back around this way, and that's going to peg in right here, like that. Come to the inside, there's a little tab right here, or panel. Open that up, and then open that up. And this part right here feels a little bit loose to me, but it does work. Right, this should come down on this double hinge. It's a ratchet joint. So bring this down until it's straight. Keep this up like this. This will come up and sit right there. Come to the bottom. And we'll open this up, rotate this down. You can open up the foot, slide this wheel down, rotate it in, rotate it out, so you get the wheels on the outside. And it helps to open up the foot ankle tilt. Then push that back up so you get the wheels on the outside. Bring this back up. Bring this out. Rotate this up and tab it in right here. Then we're going to open up this panel right here. And this foot, for whatever reason, this panel just doesn't stay put. It should stay like this. Your copy will probably stay. Open this up. And now we're going to take this panel right here, going to slide this outwards. And that should line up with this slot right here. Putting it in right now may not be of value, but make sure it's up and straight like this. And that should slide into there and peg into there. Right now that we have that front part, we can fold this panel out, open up this bottom part, open the top part, and that is one side done. So go ahead and set that aside and do the other side. I'll do it off camera and be right back. Right now that we have both sides, we can peg them together. There's 2 tabs here and 2 on the bottom. And then there's one on the back here. So make sure they all make their way in. Starting on the bottom, come to the back, make sure this got together. And then there's one in between these two. The best way to do it is come underneath and use your fingers to squeeze it together. Like that. And there's one here in the red part, so get that squeezed together. And there you go. There's the back part of the trailer. All right, now we can bring the 2 halves together. So bring this under here. These 2 red panels are going to fit underneath this blue piece right here. And then the hands are going to fit inside these, and these are going to clip into the blue pieces. So there's kind of a lot of stuff going on at once. So make sure you get these in here first. And the hands are going in. And it might be easier just to clip these on first. Let's just do that. Line these up. And clip it in. Clip that in. And now we can look down here and make sure these work their way underneath here on both sides. This is going to clip into the front here, so clip that on. Make sure these 2 red tabs make their way in here. And make sure this one didn't come out. Sometimes that comes out. Same on this one. Get those tabbed in. And the final step, go ahead and take the rockets. They're just tabbing in on this little tab. It's not the most secure thing, but that is where they go. We're going to attach this, so if you come to the bottom, you'll see there's a little peg there. So you can remove these stands now. You can lift up on this, rotate, and then close it back down. Lift up, rotate, close back down. And now it looks like this. Bring in your cab. There's a little slot right there on the back. So you're going to peg it into there. And it does peg in securely. And you can pull it, rolls nicely.